Right, well, we are on. So thank you ever so much for joining me. Let's jump in straight away. So wherever you are in the world, whichever time zone you are in, thank you for giving up your time. What I'd like to share with you today is how to start a $500 a month online business in just a couple of days. Plus, if you can join me live in London at the end of next month, end of July, I'm going to be going through what we're about to cover in this webinar over 2 days in the room in a bit more detail. By the way, if you can't join me live in London, that's absolutely fine. You can still benefit from today's webinar. So this webinar is going to be about 60 minutes or so. Then I'm going to stick around for some questions and answers at the end. I want to make every minute valuable for you because I really do respect your time. I know we're all busy. So let's jump in straight away. Who is this presentation for? Well, if I had to sum it up, this presentation is for you if you've not yet earned any money online. Is that you? If you've not yet earned anything, or even anything significant online, maybe you're new to having an online business, or maybe possibly you have been online for a while, but you're not yet earning the income that you desire, or indeed that you want. I meet an awful lot of people like this, and I was in this situation as well, so I totally can understand how frustrating that can be. Then this presentation is for you. Also, if you can make it to London at the end of July for 2 days, as I briefly mentioned a moment ago, if you can't make it to London, that doesn't matter. You still can benefit from this presentation. Out of interest, who here would be able to make it to London? Just let me quickly look in the questions here. If you could make it to the great city of London at the end of July, who could make it to London for 2 days? I'm going to share with you something that we're going to be putting on, which is going to be great fun. Just interested to see sort of a quick straw poll. Possibly, yes, not this time, if the weather's good. Don't quote me on the weather. Maybe, depends. Weekend, weekdays. Yep, yes, I can. I'm in San Francisco, says Mo. Wow, Mo, you jet setter, you. Okay, Kevin's saying yes, not this time. Yes, I could. Okay, just interested to see. So, here's what you're going to learn during the next 45 minutes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to cut out all the clutter and create a web business that after some initial work can run 100% automated. And I say after some initial work because nothing used to drive me more insane than many would say, you know, it's quick and it's easy and it's fast. Yes, it can be, but like anything, it does take a little bit of initial work, of course, at first. So that's what we're going to go through in the next 45 minutes. Also, I want to share with you how success really comes down to the basics. It really does. All you need to do is do the basics well. And when it comes to a web business, that essentially means just two things. That means getting traffic and converting that traffic. It's interesting, you know, in most businesses do not do the basics well. So therefore, if you just do the basics better than most people, and as most people aren't doing the basics well in the first place, it's very easy to quickly get ahead because most people don't really spend the time getting the basics correct. So a web business does not have to be complicated. I'm also going to share with you over the next 45 minutes how to set up a website that looks good, that you'll be proud of, that's mobile friendly. More and more people, of course, are searching on mobiles right now, so it is important that our website appears and looks great on an iPhone or an Android phone or an iPad. And also in the next 45 minutes, I'm going to show you how to laser target your online traffic so that only people that are predisposed to what you are offering on your website will turn up. Now, there is a science to this, and we're going to be covering that in this webinar. Now, to set up everything up, it takes really about 2 days or so, but we are going to condense it as much as we can into 45 minutes to 60 minutes in this presentation. So the goal for today's presentation is quite simply to give you the exact steps to create an automated web business and to be able to start driving targeted traffic to it and to convert that traffic into paying customers. That really is essentially what a successful web business is. It's exactly what we're looking at on our screen right now. And I did mention that the title of today's webinar is how to make $500 a month from that. At least, obviously, if you can make $500 a month, then it's scalable. Then you've created something that works. Then we can just ramp it up. But $500 a month is only 14 people paying you $37 a month. I like to reverse engineer things. And when you think of 14 people paying you $37 a month, it suddenly becomes very, very achievable. So that's the gist. I hope you're looking forward to what we're about to go through. Also, as a totally unadvertised bonus, I have a free giveaway, hooray, that we're going to be taking part in together during this presentation. I'm going to give away 1 ticket to this 2-day event that I'm putting on in London on July the 26th and the 27th. Would you like a free ticket? Let me quickly look in the questions here. Would you like a free ticket? I'm only giving away 1 because it costs me a lot of money to put on the event, and have to fly out there and all that sort of good stuff, hire hotels. So I'm only going to give away 1, but thank you for your comments. So this is how it works, okay? Now you need to be eagle-eyed, because here's our wonderful elephant that we're going to call Nellie, and you're going to see Nellie again sometime during this presentation. She may appear at any time, who knows when. When Nellie appears, you're going to have a 30-second window when Nellie appears, and I want you to simply type into the questions area, Chris, I can see Nellie, okay? So let's make that clear. You're going to see Nellie again sometime over the next 45 minutes. When you see her again, if you want a free ticket, if you can make it to London at the end of July, simply type in, Chris, I can see Nellie, or there's Nellie. I will, for about 30 seconds, allow you to do that. Then I will literally pick someone at random. And that's it. And if it's you, boom, free ticket to this event in London. So make a note. Nellie coming up very soon. Okay, so there are 2 parts to today's presentation. There is firstly the theory, and this is really going to be to this presentation that you're looking at right now, and that's going to be about 15 minutes or so. And one thing that I'm big on, it's all very well, isn't it, giving somebody the theory, but if you're anything like me, I actually really benefit from seeing somebody do something, and that's how I personally learn, and that's how I learned this business, actually seeing somebody do what it is I want to learn. So the theory is all very well and nice, but then we'll jump into part 2, which is the practical. Can I also quickly say, and if you've been on a webinar of mine before, you may know what I'm about to say. In my defense, it is quite a challenge on a webinar, for a webinar to be a very conducive vehicle to training. I can certainly show you, and of course I will in this webinar, what we're about to do. But, it's a webinar. You may possibly miss what I clicked on or where I went on my screen. So I just want you to know that I am aware of that, and that's why webinars are really kind of an overview, if you like, of how this business works. So they're the 2 parts to today's presentation. And let's begin with, I'd be keen for the next 30 seconds to ask you what your number 1 challenge online is. So if we were sitting down having a coffee together and I asked you, what's your biggest challenge online? Can you just spend 20 seconds or so punching in some answers in the questions window? And as I'm sure you're realizing, I do like webinars where we're very interactive, where we're corresponding with one another. There's nothing worse than being on a webinar when somebody talks about themselves for 20 minutes and we're like, I don't care, enough already. So, I like to move fast and involve everyone here, because I'm still learning as well. I still learn new stuff pretty much every day, which I implement in my business. So let's find out. I'm just going to pick some at random here. Your number 1 challenge online. Okay. Targeted traffic, says Dan Kruger. Okay, Dan, we're going to be addressing that in about 25 minutes time today. Targeted traffic that counts, says Mo. Traffic, says Randall. How to actually start, says Kay. Targeted traffic, knowing what to do and in what order. Finding out a model that I enjoy, says Derek. Beverly is saying, just stuck getting started at the moment. Motivation, says Daniel. Building a list. Creating a free offer. Picking a niche. Who to trust, says Roger. That's a great observation, Roger. Yes. Only trust people that, I've got this thing, it's very easy to talk the talk, isn't it? Only trust people that walk the walk, that have got figures, that got metrics, that can show, video proof of incomes, of traffic, of stuff that they are actually saying, because there's so many jokers out there, as indeed there are in the world. Traffic, how to start, okay, what to actually do and in what order. Too many shiny objects. Okay, so thank you for punching in some questions there. So if I had to sum up kind of the biggest takeaway, I would say that the biggest overall comment, and I'm generalizing a little bit here, would probably be information overload. I think that's fair to say, would you? This is by far the biggest killer of success. And most people have felt this at one time or another. I feel as if there is continually, and I suspect you may feel the same, continually a wall of non-stop, ever-changing information that is continually being presented to us online. Do you ever feel like that? And when you feel you might just be getting ahead, then suddenly something else comes along, or suddenly something else that we need, or at least we think we need to master. So, if you've ever felt overwhelmed from the amount of information that's out there, the information is never going to go away. In fact, it's only going to increase more and more and more as there are more channels for us to consume this information. So I'm going to just tell you what the cure is for information overload. It's also the number one big secret to success. And since I started implementing what I want to share with you right now, I just saw extraordinary leaps in my business, and I know you can as well. So let me reveal the number one big secret to success. You ready for this? It's very, very simple, as indeed the most effective things in life always are. The number one secret to success is to go small. To go small. Now, what do I actually mean when I say go small? I don't just want to throw nice, pretty-sounding buzzwords out at you. Let's define this. Of course, there's nothing wrong with dreaming big, obviously. But to achieve any level of success, what we have to do is we have to go small, firstly, and break up our path to success into small, easy to manage steps, if you like. What I mean by that is all we want to do, literally all we want to do, is we just want to focus on the one thing. Focus on the one thing. And this is what I want you to start doing right now, because you will feel fantastic. You really will. I want you to stop worrying about all the things that you could do and just focus on one thing that you should do. Okay, now I'm not just wanting to say pretty words, so let's repeat that. I want you to right now make a commitment, make a promise to yourself, an internal promise to stop worrying about all the things online that you could do. All those things, oh, I must read that, I must download that, I should purchase that, I should start implementing that. Stop all of that, and instead we are just going to focus on one thing that you should do. In other words, I want us all to stop chasing unicorns, as I often describe this, because it's very easy to spend all our time online chasing unicorns, chasing those shiny buttons. And I know I did this for the first 6 months when I started. And where does it get you? I'm sure you know the answer to this. It gets us nowhere, does it? Because all it does is add to our constant information overload. Instead, what we are going to do, and this is why I wanted to spend the first few minutes of this presentation just going through the theory, and then we'll go and do this in a moment. But instead, what we are going to do is we are going to stop everything, and we're just going to focus on one thing. Because here is the thing. All of success, and all success is a series of these one small things put together. And that's why, ladies and gentlemen, if we all have the same number of hours in the day, which of course we do, that is why some people seem to get so much more done than others. How do some people do more, achieve more, make more? Well, I'll tell you, they stop chasing unicorns. They go small and they focus on just one thing. And here's the thing, when we can dedicate 100% of our energy just on one thing, such as creating a web page or such as getting good at generating traffic, it's very easy to achieve this success in just a few hours. It's also a lot faster to start generating an income online, because what we've done is we've surrendered ourselves to go small, and we're just focusing on one task at hand. So that's what we're about to go through in this presentation, because when we want the absolute best chance to succeed at anything, our approach should always be the same, and our approach should be, let's just go small. Don't worry about the tons of other things that we could do. Because here's what I've discovered, and I'm sure this is the same for you. We all tend to overthink and overplan and overanalyze everything, really, our careers, our business, our lives, and there really is no need. Long hours are not virtuous or even healthy or even needed. The key to success is not in all the things that we do, but in the handful of things that we do well. And this really, if this is the only thing you take away from today's webinar, this will change your business incredibly. In other words, if I had to say this a different way, success is about doing the right thing, not about doing everything right. So, before I actually show you the practical of actually going to do this, let's just spend a few more minutes just really making sure that we drill this down. Because going small means focusing 100% of our time and our energy into just doing one thing. And that's it. And that one thing may be, and we'll decide this as we go through this presentation today, it may be creating a web page, it may be getting traffic to our web page, it may be writing a great email that converts those that read it into customers. It actually doesn't really matter what that thing is. The point is, I want you to commit to doing just one thing at a time. So let me ask you, can you commit to doing one thing at a time and ignoring all the other things that you could be doing? If you can, I want you to just type into the questions window and say, Chris, I commit to doing one thing at a time. And let's just see the questions window here. And I want to see who is actually brave enough to say this. Because I know this may sound, to some like, yeah, Chris, I get it already. But I will put money on the fact that if I came and spent a day with you and looked at your web business, you will probably have 4 or 5 or 6 or 100 different things on the go. And if we're never seeing any of them through to execution, what's the point? Really, what's the point? Let's be brutal about it. It's not a business, it's a hobby. So we just want to go small. This is a marathon, not a sprint. Rome was not built in a day, but they were laying bricks every day. And that's what going small means. And the most super successful people that I know online, the Brendan Burchards, Marie Forleos, Frank Kearns, all good friends now, they are all very good at doing one thing at a time and seeing that through to completion. And here's the thing, that one thing could just take a day to execute. So I commit to Stephen Johnson, Peggy Jones, Al, Chris McAvoy, Mike Stoller saying, praise the Lord. Mike, you're a very funny man. Okay. Just checking. Okay, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you for your comments. Okay, so let's carry on. We're going to go and do this in a few moments' time, ladies and gentlemen. And I should just say, one thing that I hope you know about me is that I don't talk about stuff that I don't do. I've made a lot of mistakes in this business, things that have gone wrong, and I share those, but I've also had a lot of success, and I'm happy to share those as well, of course. And I do this myself. I go small myself. I have lots of other things that I could be doing. For example, I have my list here of things I want to learn in 2014 that I've had since January, 6 months ago. Podcasting is at the top. I still haven't actually got around to doing it, just because there's other things to do. Automated webinars, another thing as well. So I am doing this myself. I'm focusing on just the one thing. For right now, for example, my one thing has been relaunching Chris Farrell membership, which you possibly might know we launched literally 2 days ago. We spent 6 months on that. My next one thing is now this event in London at the end of July, but I'm just focusing on one thing at a time. For you, it may be making a regular $500 online a month, but we can all at least agree that we just need to focus on one thing at a time. And all success is simply a series of doing these one things. So we don't try, just to sum up, we don't try and do everything at once because we're back to chasing those unicorns. Instead, we focus on each step, one step at a time. So with that in mind, what I'd like to share with you is something that I call the 4 commandments of how we can really make a difference in our online business. And by the end of these 4 commandments, what will happen is we will have a web business all set up that can earn us at least $500 a month at the very, very, very minimum. And let me just tell you these 4 commandments, then we'll go and do it. Okay, so we'll go and do this in about 5 to 7 minutes' time. The key here is going small and keeping it simple. It does not need to be complicated. Once we simplify things, we can then streamline everything we do online because we don't have any clutter and we don't have any distractions. And that's a wonderful place to be. And you might be thinking, well, Chris, you're making this sound too easy. Well, as Jim Rohn said, it's simple, but it's not easy. It's simple because the concepts are simple, but we always like to get in our own way, don't we? So this whole system of setting up a web business that can earn at least $500 a month takes just really 2 days to set up, and that's what we're going to be doing over these 2 days in London at the end of July. But I'm going to run through the process right now. So these 4 commandments, if you're making notes, you may want to make a note of these. And you've already committed to the first one, but the first commandment is that I want you to commit to the one thing. And we've already discussed this. This means quite simply committing to just completing one thing, one task, one goal. Everything else can wait. there's always going to be opportunities. There's always going to be products that are popping up that are too good to be true. So commit to just the one thing. If you'll just bear with me a couple of seconds, I just want to welcome Greg Ray, who's moderating behind the scenes, answering your questions. And he's just popped in to say everything is good. So thank you, Greg. So that's commandment number one, committing to the one thing. The reason, incidentally, so many people fail is because they overstretch and they try to do too many things at once. Have you ever done this? I certainly have. And what happens is nothing gets executed properly. Frustration, information overload kicks in. You get frustrated with your partner, although they've done nothing wrong. And what happens is you end up being busy being busy. That is what your life becomes. You're just busy doing stuff, activity. Extraordinary results can be achieved when we commit to narrowing our focus just to one thing at a time. So if you're making notes, this is the first thing. Commit to just the one thing. We'll define what that one thing is for you in a few moments' time. Once we've committed to the one thing, commandment number two is follow a proven plan. This is vitally important, ladies and gentlemen. I'm continually amazed at the amount of people who want to create an extra income online who are all over the place. And maybe this is you. Is this you? If you can admit it is, then well done for being honest. They have a real scattergun approach. They think because it's the web, you know, I can sort of do it myself. I'll piece it bit together. You need to follow a proven plan. Just as if we were going to drive somewhere for the first time. You know, we wouldn't just jump in the car and go, would we? We'd punch in the address on Google Maps or MapQuest or even get a good old-fashioned paper map. It's exactly the same with wanting to arrive at the destination of wanting to make money online. The fastest way to get to our destination is to follow a proven plan. And I'm going to show you this proven plan in a moment. And following a plan, having a roadmap, is really the difference between spending 2 months trying to get to your destination versus 2 days. So you need to follow a proven plan. You need to find somebody that has done what it is that you want to achieve and learn from them. So step 2, commandment 2, follow a proven plan. The third thing, and we're going to go and do this in a moment, is create your lead capture page. I saw a few moments ago when we were talking about biggest struggles online, building a list. It was mentioned quite a few times. A web business really can pretty much be based around one web page these days. It's quite incredible. Now, of course, you can create more if you want, but to start off with, to keep things simple, to commit to the one thing, we can just commit to creating a high-converting lead capture page. And what that means is all we need to do is create a website that collects leads as soon as we send traffic to it. There's no point sending traffic until we know the web page is sticky, until it converts. So our website is simply a lead capture device, and every successful business has some sort of lead acquisition system to it. We will have the same. Now, I'm going to go in a few moments' time and set up a new website in whatever niche we decide, and we're going to do this in real time. So I hope you'll enjoy seeing me do that. We'll do that in a few moments' time. That's commandment 3, having a lead capture page. Once we have a lead capture page, our fourth and our final commandment, well, I'm sure there were 10, I'm sure it was 10 originally. Commandment number 4 is we generate traffic to build leads. We generate traffic to send to our lead capture page that we created in commandment 3. Learning how to generate traffic. Hugely important step, of course. I'm going to share with you my number 1 source of generating traffic in a few moments' time. So if you're making notes, they are the 4 steps. Committing to the one thing, following a proven plan, creating your lead capture page, generating traffic to build leads. If you look at any successful web business, any of the names that you may follow online, essentially if you had to boil their business down, you will see that it fits into this. As I keep saying, it does not have to be complicated. Sure, yes, they might have additional bolt-on things. They might create a product about X, a product about Y, but essentially the fundamental, the heart, the nucleus of every successful web business is the following, which most people never ever achieve. So what I'd like to do now is show you these 4 steps in action in real time, and I'd like to show you how I put them all together. This is, if you like, how to get cash in the bank without putting too finer a point on it. And there are only 2 skills that you will ever need to master to become successful online. Only 2 skills that you'll ever need to master. And those 2 skills are traffic and conversion. That's really it. Everything else online that we come across are really subsections of traffic or conversion. So let's quickly define both. Traffic, of course, we all know what traffic means, but it obviously means visitors to our website, our lead conversion page, our lead capture page rather, in this instance. Conversion means what do we do with that traffic when it arrives at our site? How do we convert that visitor into a paying customer? How do we actually do that? And there's a real science and an art to that as well. I should tell you, if you master traffic and conversion, then your business will be booming. So traffic and conversion, that's really what we're going to spend the rest of today's webinar going through. And oh, you are quick! You are quick! You are quick! Look who scurried in! Look who has scurried in so soon as well. You thought I was going to do this in about half an hour's time, didn't you? So she surreptitiously scurried in. So I'm going to give you about another 15 seconds. And if you've just joined us, you're thinking, what on earth is this? This is our magical mascot. And I'm going to pick someone at random who's going to join us for free if you can make it. So please only type in your details if you can make it for this 2-day event in London. So let me scroll down here, and I'm going to pick one at random. I am going to choose Sharon Kettering. Sharon, let me make a note of this. Sharon Kettering. How are you? I'm sorry if that wasn't you. I'm sorry if that wasn't you. I will be giving you another opportunity to join us in London, by the way, in about 20 minutes' time. But Sharon Kettering, I've just picked you, so you've got a free ticket to our event in London. I'm very much looking forward to this. It's only the second time ever I've done this, at the end of July. So Sharon, we'll get in touch with you. So sorry if you didn't win. Sorry, Bob. Sorry, Paul. Sorry, Monique. A few disappointed people here. You still can come, though. Still can come, and I'll give you more details about the London event in about 20 minutes' time or so. Okay, so shall we go and set up a web business in real time together? As I say, I want to keep this webinar for 60 minutes, and we're at 28 minutes in right now. So I'm obviously doing this relatively fast. So we're going to set up a web business. And what we're going to do is as follows. We can only send traffic. So let's just make sure we're clear. Traffic and conversion, the two elements of a web business. Oh, I forgot. Just want to say congratulations, Sharon. Well done. She's just won the ticket. So I made this little congratulatory slide. So traffic and conversion are the two elements to creating a web business. We can only generate traffic when we have a web page set up that kind of looks nice, that we're proud of. So we're going to go and do that right now. Would you like me to show you how I do this these days in real time? Who would like to see me set up a web page in real time, in a niche that we'll choose together? And again, as I keep saying, I'm doing this relatively quickly. Of course, I understand that. But it's really, as I've also said, you know, a webinar is not the best vehicle to be conducive of the actual nitty-gritties. But I just want you to sort of see a bird's eye view of really what is possible once we allow ourselves to commit to those 4 commitments, commandments that I mentioned a few moments ago. So thank you, Stan. Thank you, Kim. Thank you, Gail. Thank you, Beth. Thank you, Hank, Daryl, Ray, Pamela, Don, Graham, Michelle. Okay, so let's go and do all this right now. Now, here's the thing. Online, as I'm sure you've realized for yourself, there are many different paths to arrive at the same destination. What I mean by that is there are many different ways of actually achieving the same results. Now, that alone can cause a bit of confusion. So what I mean is there's many different ways of creating web pages. There's lots of free templates out there. We can use WordPress. All of these are fine, but I'm going to share with you something that I'm sure you've heard about because it has really just taken the web world by storm. And it's still so new. It's only been around for about a year and a half or so. It's called Lead Pages. You may well have heard about Lead Pages. Lead Pages is quite simply an amazing tool to create lead capture pages. Now, it's not free. It is $37 a month, but it's an absolute bargain at $37 a month. So what I'd like to do is I'm going to set up a Lead Pages page right now, a lead capture page using Lead Pages. Then when we've done that, we'll start to generate traffic to it. Does that sound good to you? That's the kind of the plan. And then I'm getting some questions about London as well. Then I'll give you more details about London. Lee Haddon is here. How are you, Lee? Lee was at our first event in London back in January. And he's a super duper guy, setting up his first membership site, doing very, very well. Lovely, lovely fella. Nice to have you here, Lee. Nice having you here, mate. You're saying good, brother. Good to hear you, Lee. Let's not mention the England football team, hey? So let's go and create a web page in real time. So let me just get rid of this presentation for a moment. and I'm going to go to the web. Here we are. And can you see my computer screen? Can you see, let me show you what I'm looking at. Can you see, this should be leadpages.net that you are looking at. Josh, hey, Josh O'Connor's here. How are you, Josh? I just saw your comment, Josh, in the forum. Chris Farrell membership. Very nice to hear from you again, Josh. Simon's here as well. Simon Newcomb. Nice to hear you, Simon. Okay, you can see my screen. Fabulous. So this is leadpages.net. As I say, it is a paid service. It's $37 a month, but I'm just going to log into leadpages.net. Now, this is the plan. I'm going to quickly, over the next 8 or 9 minutes, set up a web page. Then when it's set up, we're then going to start generating traffic to it. Okay, that's the plan for the next 15 minutes or so. Then I've got some more news about this event in London. If you'd like to join me for 2 days in London, we'll actually do essentially what we're doing now, but you know, not at this fast speed. We'll do it over the 2 days, and we'll take it slowly and step by step. It's actually a really good fun 2 days. So here we are. I've logged into my Lead Pages account. Des is here. Des Fleming. Hello, Des. Des is a real gentleman. It's a pleasure to. I've met Des in London, and he's here as well. So let's just focus. I'm in my Lead Pages account. I'm now going to create a landing page. Lead Pages have pre-created templates that we can customize. Now, this is not a webinar about Lead Pages. Funnily enough, I do have another webinar about Lead Pages. So for now, let me just click on the opt-in pages area on the left-hand side here, and we are presented with all the different opt-in pages, opt-in templates that Lead Pages create. And something that's exclusive to Lead Pages is, if I zoom in on my screen a little bit, if I can do this, there we go. There's an area here that says sort by conversion rates. I'm just going to check that. And then all the Lead Pages will be presented to me in the order that they convert. Now I'm going to show you how high they convert in a moment. And when I say conversion, I know that sounds a bit of a technical term. That means quite simply the percentage of traffic that we then send to our page, how much of it will actually sign up and join our list. A normal conversion rate is about, depending on your style of traffic, quality traffic is about 2%, which doesn't sound much, does it? Remember that figure, because you're about to have your mind blown when I show you the conversion rates that we can achieve using Lead Pages. So I'm just going to choose this, this landing page here, this page that's called the Basic Squeeze page. The reason being, because we're on a webinar, for time, I just want to choose a simpler one because it will take less time to set up. But the concepts are the same for all of these. Some of them have extra little features and extra fun little things. But for now, I'm just going to click here where it says Basic Squeeze page. I'm going to click here, use this template, and boom. Now, what we are looking at now is inside my Lead Pages account. I've chosen this particular template. And here's the great thing. We can now customize every single component of this squeeze page. So let's choose a niche. It doesn't matter what the niche is. What is our website going to be about? You know, what's the subject matter? And I'm going to use Lee as an example, Lee Haddon, because Lee's in the health niche and the fitness niche and sort of the wellness niche and the personal development niche as well. So let's use health for now. So that's going to be the niche that I'm going to use. So the very first thing I want to do is I'm just going to quickly name this page up here. I'm just going to call this CF Test. CF Test. I'll just put today's date. Okay, so I'm just saving that. It's always a good idea to save anything you do straight away. Okay, I'm just saving that for now. I'll come back to what we're looking at in a moment. So, now, the great thing about Lead Pages is we can customize every single element of this page. So we've chosen our niche. So firstly, let's change our headline. So here's the headline, the default headline here. If I click on this, note on the left-hand side of my screen, we get an option to change the headline itself. So we can click on any element on our page and we can customize it. So I'm going to click on the headline. Note on the left-hand side here, the headline appears. So I'm just going to change this to free cheat sheets. I knew I'd spell this wrong. Free cheat sheet. What shall I say here? What would be a good headline for something in the health niche? How about 7 steps? Now note that as I'm typing it here, note how it's actually appearing on the page itself. It's known as dynamically changing. 7 steps to looking good, and look, I just need to move my microphone because my microphone's right in the way in front of my keyboard, so I'm having trouble typing. Let me just do this again. It's looking good and feeling great, ... in time for summer 2014. There we go. I'm going to put that in speech marks as well. Because headlines for some reason always look good in speech marks. Let me just bold some of that as well. Okay, right. So check that out. Doesn't that look great already? Just a nice headline. Now imagine when we send traffic. Now here's the thing. We're not even talking about traffic yet because we need our lead page to be as optimized as it's known as possible. But when we send traffic, we're only going to send traffic that is interested in health. So it's going to be very congruent. So we want to make sure that traffic would be interested in, in this case, 7 steps to looking good and feeling great in time for the summer 2014. So that's perfect. Another great thing about lead pages is every component of the page is customizable. So here's the lead pages logo. Let me click on that. And on the left-hand side, I can add my own logo if I wanted. So I've got some images already in my lead pages account. Chris Farrell membership. There we go. So I could save that. Chris Farrell membership. Let me click OK. Now, in this case, that probably wouldn't make sense because this is a health niche and Chris Farrell membership is about online marketing. So in this particular case, I wouldn't actually put that particular image here. So let me click on it again. And I don't think I have a health sort of logo, so I'm just going to hide it. I'm not going to show one at all. That's fine. No problem at all. I can change all the copy, all the wording, the colors of the button, everything. This legal information area here below, for example, I might not want to show at all. Boom, hidden. Gone. Personally, I really like web pages to just look clean and uncluttered. Now, let's talk about, the image. Great image here, but it comes with lead pages. Nothing wrong with that, but other people might be using it. So we can change the image. If we click on the image itself, on the left-hand side here, you'll see it says background image. Let's click on that, and let's add our own image. Now, you can upload an image from your computer. You can go to sites such as Dollar Photo Club, iStock Photo, Envato. There's lots of other areas online where you can purchase images for approximately $1. iStock Photo is a bit more expensive. Here's one I use for, you might recognize this, for this webinar. I think I used this one. Or I used this for a landing page recently for the event in London. Maybe it wasn't for this actual webinar. But simply all you do is you would click on images that you have, and look, they just appear in the background. Doesn't that look nice? I mean, this is so powerful, don't you think? Just saves having to do all this ourselves. Here's another image. Okay, the dimensions are slightly wrong with that, but doesn't that look good? Tower Bridge at night. So I imagine I'm doing an event in London, and I want to only send traffic that is in London, and I send them to a page that's got Tower Bridge on it, and the copy on the page says about London. Do you think that's congruent? Absolutely. For now, though, because this is the health niche, although I do love this image, doesn't it look beautiful? I've got an image here I've already prepared ahead of this webinar here of a girl kind of working out with some dumbbells. So that's fine for now. I want to do this quickly, so I'm going to click OK. Boom. So would you agree so far, let me just quickly look at the questions, that this is actually looking pretty good, don't you think? Really, it's looking clean, it's looking contemporary, it's looking uncluttered. And again, remember step 3 in those 3 commandments is build a lead capture page. This honestly, ladies and gentlemen, is not something that needs to take us weeks or months. This really can be done, as I mentioned at the beginning of this webinar, this whole thing can be completed within 2 days. And hopefully here at 39 minutes past, you're beginning to at least see what is achievable. So let's imagine now I'm fine with this page. Now, what I would now need to do is I'd now need to hook it up with my autoresponder. Now, I've talked about autoresponders before. This is a company that builds sorry, let me start again. An autoresponder is when somebody signs up at your site, that name and that email address of your visitor goes somewhere. That somewhere is your autoresponder. So within lead pages, we can simply say, I want you to add people that sign up at this site to, and if we click on opt-in form integration here, you can hook up, you can choose Aweber. If you use Aweber, you may use lots of other different autoresponder services, and just choose a web form. Now, you will have had to have gone into Aweber first and created a web form. That takes about 5 minutes. I'm not going to do that right now. It's very easy to do. Once you have created a web form in Aweber, then you come back into lead pages and say, I want you to link up this lead page that we're creating with that form. So I'm going to do that right now. Now, The only thing with lead pages, as I've noticed, is it can take about 5 minutes for it to configure with your form. So as you can see here, it's kind of scrolling forward. So I can't really do anything. I can't show you the page until this is finished. So we'll come back to this in a few seconds' time. So we're getting some great questions here as well. Let me just quickly take I'll take a 2-minute aside while this lead page form field configures, and I'll quickly answer some very quick questions. Can you move the text box, says Kate B, on the lead pages page? You can. By default, you can't. They do have a facility to actually get down a little bit deeper and move it around. So yes, you can. You can expand it as well. So yes, you can. With the lead pages, do we have unlimited lead pages, says Bob Smith? Yes, you do. Isn't it amazing? $37 a month. Do we have to pay for Aweber, says Jason? Yes, it's $1 for 3 months. Then it's $19 after that. Who would you say the top 5 internet marketers today, says Dave Hobbing? Great question. I would say Frank Kern. I would say Kerwin Ray. Good point. I'll get back to you on the others if that's okay with you. Simon Hampton says, do you think lead pages better than Optimized Press? Well, they're different, Simon. Optimized Press is a WordPress theme, and it's also a plugin that allows you to do more than just create lead pages. Lead pages is great to build your list. I mean, it cannot be beaten. Optimized Press is fantastic if you want to create a membership site. So you actually want to have a public page and then create membership site areas, if you like. You can also customize your landing pages using Optimized Press a lot more than you can in lead pages. Where would I find the webinar for lead pages? That's in Chris Farrell Membership, Beverly, if that helps. Roger, you're saying, thank you, Roger. You're saying some very kind things. Okay, I'll just take a couple more questions, and then I will, because I want to really just carry on with this and just waiting for lead pages to configure with Aweber. Jason says, can you build a list on little or no money? Jason, you absolutely can. I've only just started using paid advertising in the last 6 months. So absolutely, you definitely can. I started all my list building using free traffic techniques. I would say, though, Jason, that in any good business, you want to look at your ROI. If you're going to invest, $1 to get traffic and it's going to generate you $2, then yes, you have made that initial investment, but you're getting a better return on your investment, and it's faster using paid traffic. Okay, I will come back to your questions, but this has now configured here in lead pages with Aweber, so that's great. So I'm going to click OK. Now we have a web page, so I'm going to quickly click Save at the top here, and I appreciate I'm doing this relatively quickly. I understand that. Now if I click Publish, check this out. Lead pages, we can either host it ourselves or they will host it for us. If they host it for us, we get presented with a page, and I am going to put this page that they presented with me. I'm going to go to the web. I'm going to type it in. Check this out. How cool is this? This web page is now live online. Now, I could spend more time making it a little bit, different, add some more copy, etc., etc., etc. But when I click on download the report, look what happens. Boom, an opt-in form appears. Now, can I also quickly mention something that is very, very cool? This is known as a two-step opt-in form, and these have proven to get so much more higher conversions than the normal opt-in form. Now, when I say the normal opt-in form, I'm sure we've all seen pages where you go to a web page and you can see an area to put in your name and email address. People are kind of used to that these days. They can still convert, definitely, but because people are sort of subconsciously, they think, oh, hang on, somebody's asking for my email address, often the conversions aren't as high as a page such as this, where there's nowhere to type in your name and email address until somebody takes some action, which is in this case clicking on download the report. Just somebody taking that action means that they're interested. They click on that. Now the opt-in form pops up and you will get a higher conversion rate. Interestingly, let me quickly show you, as I mentioned earlier, we've just relaunched a few days ago Chris Farrell Membership, my membership site, and at the main landing page, we are using exactly this. You'll see this is the main landing page at chrisfarrellmembership.com. There's nowhere to actually put in your email address straight away. You have to click on, give me more info. Doing on that, boom, look, there we go. So exactly the same concept. And this, having this two-step opt-in, hugely increases your opt-ins. And we can do it with just a few simple clicks within lead pages, which is why we all love lead pages. Repeat after me. I love lead pages. I love lead pages. So we've now created our lead capture page. That was step 3 of our 4 commandments. We're now going to move on to traffic, and then I'll take some questions, and I'm going to tell you about London, if you'd like to come in London, and then I want to let you get back to your day, and cheer on America in the football. So let me just quickly check. How are you feeling? I'm going to jump onto doing traffic right now. How is that with everyone if I jump onto traffic? And I'm just trying to work out why I can't see questions. Oh, there we go. Just checking in. Eva says she's fine. Martin's fine. Thank you, Martin. Joyce, Amanda. Yeah, go for it. Chris says Vic Noble. Hey, Vic. Heck yeah, says Michael Hill. How are you, Michael? We'll try to get to London, says Alison N. Well, it'll be a treat to meet you, Alison, if you can. Okay. Hey, Christopher Britton's here. Super guy. How are you, Christopher? Pam's asking some great questions. Pam, I will come back to your question in a moment, if I may. I just want to kind of keep in the flow. So let's jump straight into traffic right now. So there are many different ways of creating traffic. As we mentioned a moment ago, a lot of free traffic techniques, such as video marketing, such as forum marketing, such as article syndication, guest blogging. I teach a lot of free traffic techniques at Chris Farrell membership. But certainly the fastest way to get traffic, and something that I've only really been using since about February this year and already beginning to see great results, is using Facebook ads. I know everybody's talking about Facebook ads. I have to say that most people I found explain it so complicatedly, if I'm not making up words. So what I would like to do is I'd like to spend just a few moments giving you a very brief overview of how Facebook advertising can really make a difference to your bottom line. Would that be okay with you? So Facebook ads is where I want to go. Hey, Kevin Kavanagh's here. Kevin, the answer to your question is it's 100% different. We totally revamped I Love Traffic. So let's talk about Facebook traffic, and let's go to Facebook. That makes sense. So here we are at Facebook itself, and here we are on my wall at Facebook. And if we're not yet friends, please send me a friend request. You can just go to facebook.com/Chris Farrell online. And if we're not friends, send me a friend request, and then we can connect on Facebook as well. Now, again, I keep saying this. It's not, a webinar's not the best vehicle to get really specific on a particular training element, so I'm going to give you an overview here on Facebook ads. Incidentally, I do have a separate course called Facebook Ads Made Simple that I'm working on right now that I'd be thrilled to invite you to, but that's still about 6-7 weeks away. But I find that most people, I've been learning Facebook ads from quite a few so-called experts, and I just found that they've complicated the whole process for me. So I know I can make it easier to understand, and I'm excited to share this with you. But let me go through kind of the overview of Facebook ads right now. So in Facebook, when we log in, we need to go to our wall. I'm clicking on our wall here. And on our wall, on the left-hand side, oh, there's a picture of my wife. On the picture, I thought I recognized her. On the picture, on our wall, on the left-hand side, there's a link that says Ads Manager. We click on Ads Manager. Ads Manager takes us to an area within Facebook where we can manage our ads. Funny that, huh? So I'm not going to bore you with all these stats and all these metrics that we see when we log into the Facebook Ads Manager for the first time, because frankly, there is no need for now. What I do want to show you, however, is how to actually create an ad. So let's click on Create an Ad, the top right-hand corner of the Ads Manager. Okay, so I know we've been going 49 minutes. Can I ask, can you give me another 13 minutes of your time just to focus? Can we do that? And while I look at your answers, if you'll allow me a slurp of water, excuse me. Okay. Right. So let me just check that everybody is okay. Check we're all right. Please let me know if I'm going a bit fast as well. I always like to keep the energy high. Time for another coffee, says Dave. You're right. You're right, Dave. Graham, thank you, mate. Nice of you to say that, buddy. Okay, so as soon as we're in Facebook ads, and as I say, I do have a new course that I'm working on right now coming in about 6 or 7 weeks where I will go through this element in more detail. But for now, let me give you the overview. When we are in our Facebook Ads Manager, this is the page that we will see. Facebook famously, as I'm sure you know, changed things, so it might look a little bit different in a few weeks' time. But the first thing we're asked for is what kind of ad do we want to create? We're given lots of options here. Now, for now, we're going to click on Clicks to Website. I would just quickly, however, mention one other thing. The second link that I tend to use a lot as well is called Website Conversions. Now, just so you know, although we're not going to do this now, but I do just want you to be aware of this, Website Conversions means that when we create an ad after choosing website conversions here, Facebook will only show that advert that we've created to people who have a history of taking specific actions, i.e. Facebook know if we click on stuff. So if somebody clicks on stuff, that person is probably more likely to take action on an ad that you create. And Facebook kind of put those people in a separate category. So if you use website conversions, your ad will only be shown to people that have already taken some sort of action in the past, whether it's comment, whether it's share, whether it's like, or whether it's click on an advert. Does that make sense? So you might be thinking, well, why don't we do that all the time? And that's a great question. The reason is to do this, we need to set up what's known as a conversion pixel. It's not difficult, but it takes us about 15-20 minutes, and I don't want to go down that road right now because there really is no need. I just want you to know that that is an option. Clicks to website is also equally fine for now, though. It really is. So it's not like the lesser of two by any means. So we're going to choose clicks to websites. So we're going to create an advert that we're saying to Facebook, when somebody clicks on that ad, we want them to go to our website, which is of course, boom, this site here. So we click on clicks to website. Great. Now we're being asked, where do we want somebody to go to? So let me grab, I keep putting my microphone right in front of my keyboard. So I'm like kind of hugging my microphone, giving it a bear hug as I talk to you. So let me grab, can you hear me by the way okay? I've just moved my microphone back a little bit. I want to make sure that you can still hear me okay. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, thank you very much. So let me grab the address of this website. Let's go back to Facebook. And now I'm simply going to paste in the address there. Boom, there it is. Okay. Once we put in the address, then this page appears. Now, what's happened here? A few things. Let me just move my desk around. I'm getting myself all tangled up here with paper and water and microphone cables. So this next page here, what have we got here? Well, what we're being told is we can now create the components of our advert. You'll note here, let me grab my pen, you'll note here that the image from the page has been pulled in. Now this is great because this makes it really congruent. If somebody sees an image, and we can get in a moment a preview of how our ad will look, if somebody sees an ad with this image of a girl holding a dumbbell and then they click on the image and then they get taken to this page, you know, clearly it's very congruent and that will help conversions. So the image of the page is pulled in, but we can upload other images as well. And I'm going to show you something super cool in a moment about images, but we'll come back to it in a second. Okay, now what we need to do now is we need to choose a Facebook fan page if you have a Facebook fan page, because every advert at the very top of an advert, it's got where it's come from, i.e. who's created it. And you can only create adverts from your fan page. Now, I'm not going to get too technical here, but if you want your ad to appear on the right-hand side of somebody's screen, you do not need to use a fan page. For now, let's not worry about that. I've just chosen a fan page. If you don't have a fan page, it takes 2 seconds to create, and it doesn't matter even if you have 0 fans. It's just an advert needs to come from a fan page as opposed to your personal profile. So let's quickly create some headline and some text. I've actually created some just ahead of this webinar. So I'm just going to grab my headline here. So here's my headline. I'm just going to type in here, 7 steps to looking great. Look at that. It appears below the image. And I'm sure you've seen many of these in your newsfeed in Facebook. Let's grab some text as well. Just going to quickly copy this text. And again, I keep saying this. I know I'm doing this relatively quickly. I just want you to sort of see the overview. Let's paste that in there. Check that out. Now, isn't this beginning to look good? We got some nice copy, free cheat sheet. 7 steps to looking and feeling great in time for summer 2014. 7 steps for looking good. We can add a call to action button as well. So let's add learn more. Note that a little learn more button appears there. Now, I want you to notice this. At the moment, we're looking at the newsfeed ad. That means that when you log into Facebook, everything in your newsfeed is what your friends have posted, but we can also put adverts in our newsfeed, and we can choose who sees the ad through what's known as the targeting. We'll come on to that in a second. This is how the advert looks in the newsfeed. If I scroll down a fraction, we can see how it looks on a mobile device. Look, looks a little bit different there on a mobile device. Still looks great there, doesn't it? And imagine you're interested in health and this pops up. Do you think you'd at least be interested? Absolutely. And then the right-hand column, there are different smaller ads that I'm sure you've seen on the right-hand side when you log into Facebook. They're known simply as the right-hand column ads. Again, it's giving us a little preview of how it looks. So we have a preview here of how our ad looks. Now, we don't have to have it appear in the newsfeed and the right-hand side. We could have it appear just on one. We could have it appear just on mobile. It's really up to you. I'm going to talk more about Facebook advertising because clearly Facebook advertising is a vast arena of its own, of which I could spend weeks just talking to you about Facebook ads. So I'm trying to give you a 10-second sort of précis here, 10-second quick overview. So another thing I want to quickly show you, which hardly anybody knows about, which I think is just absolutely amazing, are the images that we can use. So in this case, Facebook have pulled the image from our page, which is fine. But if we click here where it says Find Images, check this out. There's a link up here that says Stock Images. So I'm going to click on Stock Images. And Facebook have some sort of deal with Shutterstock, which is an online digital photography, and we can use their images for free. It normally costs like $4 or $5 to use. If I type in health, let's say, I'll get presented with loads of health images. And they are really, really good. So let's just choose something here. Let's choose, I don't know, this one here, for example. So you can see here, this girl running. It's got Shutterstock written in the middle. Don't worry, that will disappear. Let's choose that. Oops, I think I deselected it. There we go. Let's choose, click Done. Now, check this out. Imagine I want to see how this image might look, maybe not using this girl with the orange dumbbell. Maybe using this girl running on the beach, for example. So I'm just going to remove the girl with the orange dumbbell. We can have that back at any time. And now look at my ad. How cool is that? Now, don't you think that looked great? If you were interested in health and this popped up on your newsfeed, don't you think you'd at least be interested? And we can use this image for free. And if we really want to get down and dirty with Facebook ads, we can actually use 6 different images per advert and test each one to see which one gets the higher amount of clicks. And then that one that gets the higher amount of clicks, just use that one going forward. Again, that's a little bit more advanced, but it can be done within Facebook. So I hope you're beginning to see, isn't it amazing what we can actually do using Facebook ads? Let me just check that. Okay, yeah, it's really cool, Roger. I absolutely agree with you. Rosanna's saying, can this be done with done-for-you sites? Yes, Rosanna, this can be done. Because all you're doing, Rosanna, is it doesn't really matter where you're sending somebody to, per se. I mean, you want it to be congruent to your advert. But all you're doing is you're creating an ad, Rosanna. That's it. It's Facebook advertising. So you're creating an ad. Don't even get me started on things such as retargeting, which means you can follow people around online. That's another conversation. I'll talk to you more about that some other time. So Ray is asking, as I suspect a lot of people, Dave's asking, is she married? I don't know, Ray. I'll try and find out. I don't know, Dave. Ray's asking the costs. Yes, we'll come on to that, Ray. So let's talk about that in fact right now. So let's assume that we're happy with what's known as the creative, that means the wording, and the image, which is self-explanatory. Let's move down a little bit. I've got about 4 more minutes to go on this, okay? So let me just show you the audience. The next segment is known as the audience. As you can see this down here in the Ads Manager. Let me grab my pen again, or my highlighter. There we go. This is where it says audience. So let's quickly go through exactly what this means. Now, I will be going through this in a lot more detail in the 2-day event in London, but essentially for good Facebook ads, there's only 2 things that we need to master. The first thing is the image, and we've already done that, and the second thing is what's known as targeting, i.e. who's going to see the image. So all that good stuff, the targeting, is done here. Now, custom audiences, I'm not even going to talk about right now, but essentially what you can do is you can target, if you already have an email list, you can target just those people on your email list. Or if people visit your site but they don't sign up, believe it or not, you can still target those sorts of people. That's a bit more advanced. It's called custom audiences. They're amazing. They only started about 4 months ago, but I don't want to go through those now. What I do want to go through is what's known as interests and such like. Now, on the right-hand side here, you can say that at the moment, this advert has got a potential reach of 180 million. Excuse me, I've got hiccups, 180 million people. Now, that may sound great, but actually it's not good at all. It's far too broad. We want to be specific. We really don't want the ad to be focused to too many people. I'm still experimenting with numbers, but if we can get that down to about 1 million or so, for now, that'll be fine. 180 million is just too broad, too broad, too generic. We want to get a bit more specific. Specific is always better than generic, as Napoleon Hill once said in Think and Grow Rich. So that we get specific by being good with our targeting. So firstly, locations. United States, that's fine. Age, well, let's straight away, we don't want people that are 13 particularly that are interested in this. So let's say we want people that are interested in, I don't know, let's say 29 to, so it's a health and fitness thing, let's say 29 to 65 or 64. So that's still quite a vast age range. Now the potential reach has dropped down to 100 million, still far too many, but it is dropping. We might want to just have the ad just to women, possibly, depending on what our niche is. It might just be women's fitness, but doing that to slash it to 56 million. So as you can see, I'm beginning to dig down a little bit, and on the right hand side, I'm being told now I'm only targeting people that live in the US at this age and that are female. Languages, again, we could get really, really specific. This is why Facebook is so powerful. This is why their share price keeps on going up, because we can get so specific. I've had adverts that have appeared for me that are just for me, literally just for me. A person has made an advert that literally says, hey Chris, or hey Chris Farrell, because they've just targeted me. That's how specific we can get. So if you were doing something where you just wanted to target, I don't know, CEOs of a company, and you had 10 CEOs in your area, you can have ads just appear to them. It's really, really powerful. Let's carry on down here. So gender, yeah, we'll keep gender as female. Interests. Okay, let's talk about interests. So in the interest section, we could spend ages in the interest section, but this allows us to get more detailed with our targeting. So again, I'm going to do this relatively quickly because this is not a webinar about Facebook ads, but I still want to show you the overview. I will happily do a separate webinar about Facebook ads if you'd like. But let's choose fitness and wellness. That makes sense. And in that subsection, I'm going to choose dieting. You see, we're being presented with loads of options here. Let me also choose weight loss. So what we're doing now is we're saying we want our advert to only appear between those that are aged 29 to 64, that are female, that live in the US, that are interested in dieting or weight loss. How do we know that they're interested in dieting or weight loss? Well, they would have taken some sort of action on Facebook. They may have liked a page. They may have commented. They may have shared something. There may be third-party data that has been mined that Facebook have bought that tell us that this person is interested in diet or weight loss. So they're fine for my interests for now. Behaviors is similar to interests. This tells us what people have actually done online and their purchasing behavior. For example, if I click on digital activities here, check this out. We can actually choose people that have only spent money online. It's incredible. So I'll select that right now. So I'm going to choose online spenders that are active. So what we're doing now is we're really getting targeted with who we want this ad to appear to. And I'm now choosing females between 29 and 64 that live in the US, that speak English, that like dieting and or weight loss, and that have spent money online before. And notice now how my potential reach is 240,000 people, a lot lower than the 180 million. But it's a lot more targeted, isn't it? Don't you think if this ad appears now to these people, they're certainly going to be a lot more likely to be interested. That's why, as I mentioned a few moments ago, the two most important elements with Facebook advertising are, one, the image, and two, what we're doing now, the targeting. Most people don't really spend all that much time on the targeting. So for time-wise, I'm not going to spend any more time on interest right now. Let's imagine I'm happy with that 240 people that I could reach with this ad. Finally, let's talk about the costs. How much is all this going to cost us? So this is known as the bidding. And essentially, there are really only two types of bidding. There's something called cost per click, and there's something called cost per impression. Cost per click means, as the name suggests, and I'm sure you know this, that you will only get charged when somebody clicks on your ad. So if you create an ad and nobody clicks on it, it will still get shown on Facebook, but nobody clicks on it, you don't pay anything. Facebook kind of almost take a punt on you. They kind of take the risk because they're going to show your ad on their platform, but they won't get any money unless somebody clicks on it. So that's cost per click. The other cost is cost per impression. That means Facebook charges per 1,000 impressions. That means they will show our ad 1,000 times for an X price, and I'll show you the price in a second, and we'll get charged. Now, it's possible nobody may click on it at all, but we will still get charged. So we can only pay if we want every time somebody clicks on our ad, or we can pay for our ad to be shown 1,000 times. What's the best? The truth is there isn't really a best. It really depends on your niche, and we need to test and stuff. What I like to do is I like to start by choosing cost per click to see if the ad is getting interest in the first place, to see if it's getting any clicks at all. If it does, then what I like to do is I like to change it to cost per impression and kind of blitz it out there, pay it a little bit less, but get it out 1,000 times per impression. So let me show you sort of how much both would cost. So a bit further down here, we can set a budget, by the way, per day. I tend to do $10 per day, so you don't have to be concerned about going over your, spending an awful lot of money, unless you want to. If we click on advanced options here, so here we go. Bids per click. There we go. So bids per click. I'm being told that with this targeting, now bear in mind I'm aiming at quite a big niche, health and fitness and diets. That's obviously a big, multi-trillion-dollar niche. So Facebook are saying that they would charge me 60 cents per click. Now, the truth of the matter is you will end up paying a lot less than that. This is the highest amount you possibly could pay. So if you're budgeting, $60 cents per click is what Facebook is saying you'll get charged. In reality, it's an awful lot less. It will probably be something like 35 to 37 cents per click. That's if you want to pay per click. If you want to pay per impression, so per 1,000 views, Facebook will charge you a massive 14 cents. 14 cents. Are you beginning to see the power of Facebook ads? Now, I'll say something else, which might be a little bit controversial. My thoughts are that within 3 years, these figures here will be in the $1 range, $2 range. It'd be a lot higher. It'd be like Google AdWords was when it started, and a few years later, everybody jumped on the bandwagon. And I have to say, without sounding patronizing to you, the very fact that you are here giving up your time, just immersing yourself, just getting a rudimentary understanding of what is potential with Facebook ads sets you apart from 97% of people that, have not given up their time on a Sunday to learn this. So I think we've got really a 3-4 year window of benefiting from Facebook ads before it gets kind of a lot more expensive. I think Greg Ray wanted to jump in and quickly say something, or maybe he didn't. Maybe he didn't know. Okay, sorry, I just heard Greg's microphone unmute. Maybe that was a timing thing. So all we would do now is I would simply click place order, and then my ad would start to run. It gets manually reviewed, but I'm not going to place the order because obviously this is kind of, obviously I'm sort of sharing with you how the placing a Facebook ad works. So I'm slightly aware of the time here. We're at 1 hour and 8 minutes. So I really hope you've enjoyed seeing how to create a landing page in a niche, then start generating traffic to it. And the whole reason for this webinar, as you know, was how this can be done within 2 days. I've kind of tried to cram it into, 68 minutes. I'm sure you can see that if we spend a bit more time, how this really is something that is not something that somebody else can do. This really is something that you can do, and that can make you at least an extra $500 online a month, at least. So with all that said, let me quickly talk to you about London, because in London, I'm going to be going through this. Now, if you can't make it to London, of course I understand. I hope to be doing this in other locations in the world as well. This is only the second time ever I've put on this event, and I would be thrilled if you can make it to London. I have to say as well, and I'm not just saying this to say this, it's such a great fun time as well. We had such an amount of fun over the last 2 days that I did this, that it would be a treat to meet you, and we'll all go out for coffee at lunch and we'll hang out, and great friendships came out of the last event as well. Lee Haddon, who I mentioned earlier, who's on this, very cool. We've become good buddies. We're texting each other. So if you can make it at the end of July to London, I would welcome you to this event called What's Working Online Now, where essentially we'll spend 2 days going through what I've spent the last 68 minutes showing you. So let me spend the next few minutes explaining what London is all about. And also I have a discount price for you as well that's exclusive to this webinar. So I can save you some money, but that's exclusive to the webinar. I'll tell you what that is in a few moments' time. So who is this live event in London for? This live event in London for is really for you if you've read books, maybe you've bought products, but you still do not have a clear understanding of how to create a successful web business. If you find yourself thinking a lot of the time about wanting to generate an additional income, or if you understand that it can be done, but you're not too sure exactly what to do, and in what order. Let me just quickly make a note of one thing I just want to mention. I'm just going to quickly write down something here. Okay. So that's what we're going to be going through at the event in London. Now, you might possibly have seen the sales page. Let me quickly show you this. The sales page online all about this event. There is a price increase coming in 9 days' time, but I do have a discount for you. But over the 2 days, this is what we will be covering. We're going to cover how an internet business works. We're going to talk about the 3 steps of making money online, how the components actually fit together. If you're not too sure about your subject matter, don't worry at all. We will identify a subject matter for you. We're going to talk about creating a website and the power of building a list. We're going to talk about avoiding the biggest mistake online, which incidentally is most people trying to sell straight away. We want to build a relationship and nurture that relationship first. We're then going to create a website, and we'll then move on to maybe creating your own product if that's something that you'd be interested in, or promoting other people's products. We're going to talk about the monetization, how to actually take payments online, and also what is arguably the most important aspect of a web business, that is automating everything, so you don't have to be in front of your laptop 24/7. And then we're going to dig down a lot deeper into traffic techniques that are working here and now in 2014. Each day is quite a long day, starts at 10 in the morning, goes on to 8 o'clock at night, so we're really going to crowbar in a lot of value and a lot of content into each of these days. And I have a little bonus for you as well. If you're thinking, well, if I want to refer to some of the information during these 2 days, I've copied all the content that we'll be going through into bite-sized 10-minute videos, which you will have exclusive access to as well. So the event is called What's Working Online Now. It's 2 days taking place in London at the end of July. The regular price is £997, which I have to say, and I'm not just saying this because I'm saying it, even if I say so myself, it's still a complete bargain. If you've been to any events before online, you'll know that they often charge $3,000, $4,000. Admittedly, that is dollars, so we have to convert it, but it's still a very, very reasonable price. But I have a webinar exclusive discount for you, and I've had a few people contact me privately asking if I could set up a split payment. So yes, of course I will. There's a 2-part split payment if you're interested. 2 payments, they'll be 30 days apart, of just £397. So that's a saving of over £200. Only because, and only for those that are on this webinar. This is not available anywhere else. I should also mention there are only 30 places at the event. And again, this is not false scarcity. It's a small room because we like to keep it intimate. And if you would like to purchase and grab your place, there's a full 30-day money-back guarantee. Let me rephrase that. There's a full money-back guarantee. So if you come to the event, which is, in fact, it's about 30 days from now, but let's think of it from now, it's about 35 days or so. But anyhow, if you come to the event and you for whatever reason realize it's not for you, let us know at the event. You'll get a full refund. That's absolutely no problem. So to take advantage of this exclusive discount, here's the link that you need to go to. It's www.chrisfarrell.com/London. And as I say, that's exclusive to this webinar. This 2-part split pay is not available anywhere else, and it would be a treat if you can make it. But if you can't, absolutely fine. Just wanted to extend this invitation to you. So let's do this. I'd like to spend the next maybe 10 minutes or so. If you have any questions, I'm going to ask Mr. Greg Ray to jump on in a moment. And, oh, Paul, I've just seen your comment, Paul Brooks. He says, I thought I meant London, Ontario. Oh, Paul, I should have made that clear, shouldn't I? I should have made that clear. Oh, he says he's just kidding. How funny. Anyway, so if you have any questions, I see that we've had just a plethora of questions throughout this webinar. I'm going to scroll through some questions, and then I'm going to ask Greg if he'd like to jump on and ask some questions as well. And yes, Greg, I've just seen that. Thank you very much. I need to make Greg an organizer so I can talk to him. There we go. If you have any questions about what we covered in the webinar, about the 4 commandments, about Facebook advertising, about lead pages, or indeed about the London event, please feel free. And while Greg grabs some questions, let me quickly just go through some questions. Hello, Dave Reynolds. Dave's coming. He's already booked. Dave, you're a super chap. Dave, how are you? Great of you to book, Dave. Thank you ever so much. Anya's here. Hello, Anya. She's going to be in Europe, so she may come along. I know Anya. Anya and I have spoken many times. Well, Anya, it'd be nice to meet you in the flesh after speaking to you on Skype the few times that we have. John Munsters is, will this webinar be online somewhere so we can re-listen? Yes, it will, John. I will send you a replay link, so no problem at all. Right, I'm just scrolling back through these questions. Where do we get the tickets? chrisfarrell.com/London is the event, is the link rather, if you want to come and grab this discounted price. Would you have any questions? Is this the best way to start a web business if you're new to all this? Absolutely, Roger. I remember I struggled hugely when I started with getting a clear path. So if you want to speed up time, yes, I really would say that for sure. Val is asking, can you pull a Facebook ad back off if you've researched your budget and you don't want to or can't pay for further advertising? Absolutely, Val. You just go into your ads manager, one click, you can turn it off or you can pause it. You can change the budgets as well at any time without having to have the ad reapproved. So if you want to just put it down to $1 a day or $10 a day, then absolutely. If you change the imagery, the image or the copy or the targeting, then it has to be reapproved. But if you change the budgeting, it does not, i.e. how much you ought to pay. Kevin saying, would I want to talk in front of some small business owners? Kevin, I'd be thrilled to. Send me an email, Kevin, or I think you've got my number, haven't you? Give me a call and we can discuss that. So, oh gosh, these questions are coming through so fast. Oh, no, my window, sorry, now my question window is not scrolling. Let me... So, okay. What happens after I create the ad? So once we create the ad, to Seth, how are you, sir? So once we create the ad, then the ad will start generating traffic to you, and the ad will start generating traffic to your landing page. And then some people will sign up at your landing page. And then once they're on your list, that's where the monetization happens. So once they're on your list, that's when, do you remember me mentioning briefly earlier in this webinar, a lot of people just try and sell straight away. What we want to do is try and engage with those on our list and try and really deliver some good, valuable content on that subject matter without introducing them to purchase a paid product immediately. There's a good kind of formula that I stick to, which is 3-to-1. I will have 3 emails really delivering content, then I might have 1 email selling something. And if you sort of stick to that, then you're not known every time for sending an email that you're trying to sell something. And then when you do introduce your list to a product to sell, if you've been good to them, some of those lists will be interested in purchasing your product or your service. Technical stuff is the easy part. Thank you, Hilda. Thank you very much. Getting some good questions about the Facebook advertising. Cost per click is cheaper, says Simon. Really, I found cost per impression cheaper for me. How does lead pages affect the process of learning from 4-week fast track? Well, the process of making money online is the same. And that is essentially building a list of people interested in the subject matter before cultivating a relationship with them and then introducing them products to sell, be it your own or affiliate products. Lead pages just allows, rather than using WordPress to create your lead page allows you to use their page, so you don't have to install WordPress, you don't have to worry about kind of WordPress settings, so it's a little bit easier from that point of view. Doesn't Facebook charge less for the clicks if you stay within Facebook to collect leads rather than directing your clicks to an outside website, says John Thomas. Great question, John. Funny you say that, John. Yes, they used to. About a year ago, there was a real big thing about, if you're going to send Facebook, if you're going to use Facebook ads, send that ad to within Facebook. That doesn't really make any difference anymore, and we've been testing this. particularly as what you used to have to do was send your traffic within Facebook to a tab on your fan page. Now, fan pages have changed, and you don't actually have tabs on a mobile device, and about 50% of traffic is on mobile. So it actually now doesn't make any difference, and that certainly was the case about a year ago, but now we've seen no difference in cost per click of sending traffic away from Facebook as to Facebook. But yeah, that certainly was the case about a year ago. Good question though, John. Can somebody make a living only with Facebook ads offering affiliate offers? Absolutely, Christine. I know tons of people that are doing exactly that. They will send, they will often spend quite a lot of money though, because they all know their metrics. You know, they'll know that if they're spending $200 a day, they'll get, $300 back. And all their traffic will be sending to either a lead page or certainly some page where you're capturing somebody's details. It might not necessarily be a two-step opt-in form like we looked at. It might be a survey, for example. You might have seen those pages where you're asked, what are your thoughts on this? And you have to check the little round button, and you engage doing that, and you do like 2 or 3 of those, and then it says to get your results, give me your email. That's the way of building your list. But yes, absolutely. Okay, so Mr. Tassouf, I'm going to hand to Greg in a moment. Tassouf is saying, can you send traffic directly to a sales page? Yes, you can. You can send traffic anywhere you want, but I wouldn't advise it because unless you're using a custom audience, which means it's people that are already on your list that you're targeting specifically, generally most people are not going to purchase a paid product just because they don't. Would you? I probably wouldn't from clicking on a Facebook ad. So you really want to list build. So you want to send them some sort of data capture page. How does traffic get to your ad in Facebook? Well, Facebook show your ad for you. So they get you the traffic. So your ad will show up in people's news feeds depending on the targeting that you've chosen. So you create the ad, Beverly, you pay for it, then Facebook place it. So it will appear on people's news feeds. It will appear on people's right-hand sides when they're on their laptop or their desktop. It will appear on their news feed if they're on their mobile device. Right, Mr. Ray. My pleasure, Beverly. Mr. Ray. So what's the link for London again? chrisfarrell.com/London is the link if you'd like to come to the London event for this discount. Mr. Ray, let me hand over to you. Although I seem to have lost Greg now. I think we've lost his internet connection. Not to worry. Yeah, we seem to have lost Greg, I believe. Has he just Skyped me? Maybe he has. Yes, he has. Okay, we seem to have lost Greg. Not to worry. Sorry about that, Greg. I think the internet gremlins, let me just check here. We have lost him. The internet gremlins seem to have gotten the better of us. The discount for the... We're probably going to end the discount at the end of this month, Josh, just because I want it just to be an exclusive for this webinar. So that would be the 30th. How many days in June? 30 days in September, April, June, 30th of June. Thank you, Pamela, saying 30. Anyway, guys, thank you ever so much. So let's wrap up this webinar. It's been a pleasure, as always, spending time with you. If you are free and you'd like to join us for London, chrisfarrell.com/London is the address to go to. If not, absolutely no problem. I do hope you've enjoyed me. I've really tried to illustrate step by step how a web business can be created, just essentially having a good lead capture device page and then sending targeted traffic to that page. So thank you, chaps. I have recorded this if you'd like to view it again, and I will send it out to you within the next 48 hours or so. Enjoy the World Cup if you're going to be watching the rest of that. Good luck, America. I think kickoff is in about 45 minutes. I'll go and watch that. Thanks, guys. Have the super rest of your Sunday or Monday, wherever you are in the world, and speak to you soon. This is Farrell signing out. Bye.